All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to another one. Hope all is well. The good doctor, Dr. Umar Johnson, has weighed in on the Nolan Wells case, and we're going to take a listen to that today. And I'm going to give my live reaction on it as well, amongst other things that's going on in the news. But for those that's watching the rebroadcast, please give us a like. Please comment, subscribe, hype us up. All of it would be greatly appreciated in advance. Um, Let me see what we got here. Let me see. But anyway, guys, we're gonna listen to the good doctor today to see what he's weighing in on this case. I've been wanting to hear his opinion anyway on this, so I'm gonna take a listen to it to see what he has to say. I know he's gonna say something about the 4th of July. I really don't celebrate the 4th either, for many, many reasons. But if I have a day off, obviously, but I don't really observe the 4th really for many reasons, as he's going to say, because we're celebrating something that didn't have nothing to do with us. And let me see, but I'm not if people observe the 4th of July, I don't knock people for doing that. I just don't particularly observe the 4th of July. But if I have off of work, yeah, that's a different thing. Like I used to be okay with the 4th of July for that reason, but now that I work for myself, I really don't celebrate it. Um, but Dr. Umar Johnson, as you know, he's a polarizing figure. Um, and I'm sure he's gonna have a lot to say about this. This is my first time reacting to it with everybody. So we're gonna listen to it. What's up, Aunt Andrea? And let's get on into it.
The consciousness. The work never stops. The work never stops.
Yes, indeed, man. Had to bring you back on. The people, they've been asking me to bring you back on for the longest, man. So it was only right to bring you back on. It's so much I want to talk to you about, though, man. It's so much to get into that I want to get your take on. Nolan Wells, how you feel about that situation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells. You know, when the case first broke, Art, I just kind of sat back because I knew the YouTubian struggle streamers were going to run with it. I knew the white liberals on YouTube were going to run with it. I knew the white racists on YouTube were going to run with it, and everybody in between. It hurts my heart for Sister Christine, Nolan's mother, to have to see so many people using her son's name and crisis and tragedy for clickbait. And that's one of the biggest reasons, Art, I kind of stood back. It almost reminded me of the Freddie Gray police unaliving in Baltimore back during the Barack Obama era. When Freddie Gray lost his life to those police in Baltimore, everybody rushed to Baltimore. They did the same thing with Michael Brown in Ferguson, not because they necessarily cared about the tragedy, but because they wanted to benefit personally from it. And so I stayed away from Ferguson. I stayed away from Baltimore. And I stayed away from the Nolan Wells situation for a while because I didn't want to look like so many other people who just jumped in to have something to say, to use that young man's loss of life for clickbait and views. Now that it's been over a month since he lost his life, I think it's okay for me to speak now because everyone else has kind of given their opinion, their analysis, their synopsis, and their feeling on the situation. So I'm going to give mine. First of all, Nolan Wells, Javon, and I want Javon to hear this, and I want any other Black person who was on Devil Horns Island that day to hear this. And I want any Black person who was celebrating the 4th of July to hear this. No black person, no black freedman, no black immigrant, no member of the black race at all should have been celebrating July 4th, 2026. No one should have been celebrating America's 250th solar return. And why? Because our ancestors were still enslaved on July 4th, 1776. So why are we on White Devil Horns Island anyway, celebrating George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton and all these other white supremacists and slave masters? Why are we even celebrating them anyway? Nolan shouldn't have been out there. Javon shouldn't have been out there. No black person should have been celebrating the 4th of July, period. We would be enslaved for almost another century after America got her independence. So what are we celebrating for? To celebrate the 4th of July as an African is to celebrate the enslavement of your ancestors and the freedom of your slave masters. It makes no sense. Now, with that being said, I'm not blaming Nolan in any way, shape, form, or fashion for.
Let me just say this real quick. I stopped celebrating the 4th of July because I'm like a history person. I like to uncover and study history. I came across Frederick Douglass' speech in college. And, you know, I have to admit it, that's the first time I read his speech. What to the slave is the 4th of July, question mark. That was the title of it. What to the slave is the 4th of July by Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass delivered this on July 5th, 1852 at Corinthian Hall after being invited by Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society to commemorate the Independence Day. And Douglass, he began that by praising the ideals of American founders, but then asked a powerful question. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? His answers is that while Independence Day celebrates the liberty for many Americans, it is a day that exposes the hypocrisy of a nation that proclaims freedom while millions remain enslaved. So I was thinking about that. I read the whole speech and I was so like taken back by it. Like, why am I celebrating the 4th of July? It wasn't meant for me. You know, this 4th of July, I quote, he said, "This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn." He said that to them. He delivered a speech of all speeches for that. And they just sat quietly and listened. So that's why I don't observe the 4th of July. But I don't knock people that do. Like if you want to get fireworks and stuff like that and celebrate the 4th of July. I used to until I read that and started really thinking about it. Like the 4th of July is not really for me. I don't do much on the 4th of July. People are like, what are you doing, man? It's the 4th of July, chilling. It's a regular day, man. Make some content, stuff like that, which I did make some content on the 4th of July. I'm sure I did. That's pretty much it. So I get where he's talking about that. I get why he's saying that. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
His loss of life. I'm just simply saying he shouldn't have been out there. Now let's take a closer look at this, Art. According to what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, and what I've read, Nolan, Warren, Wyatt, and Trayston left for Horn Island the morning of July 4th.
Stop. It's okay. He's just getting it mixed up. No, Trayston wasn't with them. Trayston went to Horn Island. He got there before they did. Trayston got there before they did. He was there with his uncle and his girlfriend or his old lady. So just to make that clear, according to the story. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Horn Island, there's a lot of cameras. You know, the route they took, there's cameras out there. So there's a lot of theories going on right now in regarding Nolan, and did he get on the boat? Did he leave with them? Did he not leave with them? That's the question. Did he leave on somebody else's boat? Because remember, they went out there on 3 boats, possibly 4. There's a 4th boat. So, and when I shared that photo, I mean the video, the reason why I shared the video, because you could clearly see him near all those boats. But yeah, so I don't know.
According to Warren's own words that he offered during an interview with Officer BT Coon, that's Coon as in C-U-N-E, Coon as in K-H-E-W-N, Coon as in K-U-H-N, Coon as in C-O-N-N. So Warren did a sit down with Officer BT Coon. And as we all know, BT Coon is White YouTube's pet monkey. He's White YouTube's pet monkey. So Warren,
He talking about the officer, the good officer. He said he's YT YouTube's pet. That's pretty much what he is. And like, you know, the thing is, I know that because I have a lot of knowledge of self. And I know some people, you know what's funny? When you talk about issues, right? We're not allowed to complain. You know, if we complain, a lot of people get offended by that. Oh, you pulling out this car, this and that. Hey, man, you know, it is what it is. Some people just not gonna understand. Some people don't know it, which is cool, but they don't know that there's a section of this country that listen to somebody like the good officer just to feel good about themselves. He's not speaking no realness. Some people think he is. He's not. He's not educational or nothing. He perpetuates hate on his channel of his own people. That's, which is crazy, because they done it in the past. That's what makes it acceptable. Like, I can easily do the same thing. Oh, but black folks this, black folks need to do this. When you say black folks need to do this, you're talking about everybody, because they put us all in the same bag. So that's why I don't like when people talk like that. They can say whatever they want, but they referring to all of us. And like I told somebody, I can start a whole page talking about them, because you really don't have no pages really like that. But I don't want to do that, because not everybody is the same, you know.
and sat down for an interview with White YouTube's pet monkey. And he said that they left for Horns Island the morning of July the 4th, and that it was approximately 30 of them spread across 3 boats. Approximately 30 youth spread across 3 boats. They all went to Horn Island together. They arrived at approximately 11:30. So they left around 9-ish, 8, 9-ish, whatever the case may be. They left the morning of July 4th. They arrived on White Devil's Horn Island at about 11:30. So 3 boats, 30 youth, they went together. I'm not clear on whether the 3 boats came back together or not. That's another question that I have, Art. Did they come back together the same way they left together? Because I'm treating all 30 of those white youth and all 3 of those ships as crime scenes and as suspects. All 3 ships are potential crime scenes. All 3 boats are potential crime scenes, and all 30 youth are potential suspects. I don't know why Jackson County Sheriff Ledbetter or Jackson County District Attorney Mulrath, I don't know why they decided to separate the boat that Nolan was on, Warren's boat. I don't know why they separated that boat from the other 2 for purposes of investigation.
All right, let's stop right there. He's getting the facts mixed up a little bit, and I don't like when the facts get mixed up. We have to get this right. Warren, that was not Warren's boat. he went on his buddy, his buddy Bart's boat. And there was two other boats out. Well, there was two other boats out there too. He asked his buddy, he like, hey, can you bring your boat out? Bart said yes. So there was three boats. He did mention which boat Nolan went out there on. But the question is, what happened after they left that island? For me, it's up for question marks. Now I understand that the two gentlemen went out there recently. I think it was yesterday. They went out to Horn Island, and the news is saying they had an emotional time when they were out there. They went out there with their lawyers. He hired one of them. Had Warren. I think Warren hired the Trump lawyer. He was out there, and they said they had an emotional time out there. So, but see, I wasn't there, so I can still question it. Like, for me, everybody is suspects until everybody go through the process of elimination. I don't know. See, I don't take people word for it. I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened to them. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we can hear their stories and stuff, but I haven't heard from everybody yet. It's not up for me anyway. I'm not an investigator, but I'm just saying I don't take nobody's word for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. What's up, Miracle? Thanks for coming in, Miracle. This the day I was like, yeah, man, I appreciate you coming in. But there was three boats. So we have to get the facts right. Like I said, I can sit here and say, well, I don't know what happened, but at the same time, it's up to the authorities and the investigators to figure out who is suspects or not. You know what I'm saying? It's up for them. I'm just sitting here listening and giving my opinion. But even at the same time, like I said, it's just, for me, the circumstances, even when they explained it, is weird to me. I just can't see leaving my friend out there. But see, I'm not them. I'm speaking for myself. I just can't see it. I can't see it. Now I could see if he found a girl, like, okay, I'm gonna stay, he's staying back with the girl, and she got a boat for him to get back to the mainland. I understand that. I would have left. Okay, cool, you straight? And I would have gave him his phone. Like, you know your phone on my boat. You need your phone. I would make sure, like, here, keep your phone, make sure it's charged up just in case you need to call us. That's how I conduct my business. You see what I'm saying? That wasn't done that way. That's why I'm having a lot of questions. Ain't no teenager gonna leave their phone behind. I'm sorry. Because he needs his phone. Like, look, guys, just in case if something happened, I need to call you. I'm gonna make sure my phone is charged, stuff like that. Because I would have gave him his phone and said, yo, make sure your phone charged. You know what I'm saying? Because you got your car at my house, different things like that. His phone stayed with them. That's why everybody's questioning it. And I want to say something real quick, because Umar said something. I want to say something real quick here. He wanted to wait till all the struggle streamers and everybody tell their side of the story. Well, everybody's not struggle streamers. That's number one. Okay, some people, like including myself, I cover cases, and I know he watches. I know he does. I know some people like, damn, what you mean, Dr. Umar? Yes, he does. I know he does. For some people that's been rocking with me for many years, he does. You know what I'm saying? I follow cases. I learned a lot just from following this situation. I'm sorry that the young man lost his life, but I mean, TMZ is talking about it. CNN is talking about it. It's okay for us to talk about it. Right? So I'm talking about it. I'm asking questions that everybody else have. How come you guys left and he stayed behind and he didn't have his phone? That's a legitimate question. You know what I'm saying? And I want to know the answer to it. I don't want to hear you guys left and everything just got hectic and he left his phone. Ain't no teenager that I know. He got his phone attacked. They got their phone. It's like it's a part of their body. My phone is like it's a part of my existence. I'm not going nowhere without my phone. And I remember life without the phone. But I'm still, now that we have this phone, this device, this phone, I make money with my phone. My phone has all its business. Did you know I write 75% of my phone bill off every year to taxes? 75%. That's how much I use my phone for business. Okay? 75% of the time. Because I'm making videos with my phone. I'm doing different things with my phone. My phone is business. So I'm not leaving my phone nowhere. Okay? Unless and look, here's the thing. I'm so proficient with my phone, I don't even forget my phone. My phone is in my hand at all times. And I don't put my phone in my back pocket. So for somebody to pickpocket me, I keep it in my front pocket. Or I walk with my phone. I have a grip on my phone. Like, you're not taking my phone. Okay? Teenagers are not even losing their phone. I'm just saying. I mean, everybody know this. This goes without saying. None of you guys are leaving with your phone nowhere. Okay? None of you are not even losing your phone. That's not happening. I sleep with my phone. I go to the bathroom with my phone. I don't keep my phone in the shower with me, but I have the music playing on my phone. Okay? Only time I don't have my phone unless my phone is being updated. Unless my phone is being updated, it's charging, I'll just leave the phone down. And if I'm doing something or if I'm reading something, the phone goes away. But when I'm outside in the world, my phone is with me and we're not losing our phone. That's not happening. Okay? You don't have to keep saying he lost his cell phone. We read your comment. It's not that many people in here. We can read it. You don't have to keep spamming that he lost his cell phone. All right? So that's the final time you're gonna put that in here. He didn't lose his cell phone. I don't believe that. Okay? You said your daughter won't even let the damn phone charge. Sometimes people let their phone go down to 1%. You know, and then scrambling for the charge at that point. Your phone is at 1%. I remember I was in the airport waiting one time. This girl said, "Hey, do you have a charger? Extra charge?" Like, what should I'm at 1%? 1%? No. I'm sorry. She had got in my car. I was taking her home. She was at one. I said, "Yeah, I got extra charge in the back. You can use it." She was at 1%. And then she said, "No, that's not the charger I'm looking for. I need the other one." I said, "I got one. It's right there." She said, "Oh, okay, cool." She was at 1%. Her phone was getting ready to die so bad. You know how the phone keep chopping up. It started chopping up. That means you need a charge. It's getting ready to shut off. Her phone went to less than 1%. Okay. You know, your phone start to dim out. That's how it was on life support. Oh, I know who this is. Hold on a second. You're El Hombre. What's your name? Ryan Anthony. You changed your name. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on one second. That's who you are. So you are not leaving your phone nowhere. It's not happening.
And analysis, because those three boats operated as a team. And since they went out there as a team, and it hasn't been made clear to me whether or not they came back together as a team, all 30 white youth and all three boats should have been part of this investigation, not just the one boat. That is my first big issue with this case. Who decided to separate the other two boats in the other 20 or so youth. I got a problem with that, Art, because according to the Cajun Navy, they have no GPS information on the other two boats, Art. They have no GPS information on the other two boats. Now let's get into this.
Thank you, Andrea, for the donation. You said you're appreciated, Max. Keep up the good work. I wish I had answers. I understand Nolan's mom pain. Justice for Nolan. I know you do. And rest in peace to your child as well. Yep. Thank you, though, for the donation.
Let's get into this. According to Warren and Nolan's other so-called white friends, they decided to leave the island around 4:30. So they were roughly on White Devil's Horn Island from 11:30 to 4:30. That is about 5 hours. About 5 hours. Now, one question that has to be asked, Art, why did y'all leave so soon? Because they party on Horn Island all day long. Y'all didn't leave at sunset. Y'all didn't leave at sundown. Y'all left after only being there 5 hours. That's a little suspicious, Art. And I haven't heard anybody ask any of them, why did y'all decide to leave after only being there for 5 hours? Did y'all plan to only be on White Devil's Horn Island for 5 hours? Why did y'all leave at that time? But we'll do.
Well, they claim that they left because they were having problems with the boat. That's what they said. That's their alibi. Yeah, it said they had an emotional time when they went to revisit Horn Island. I'm just telling you what that's not me saying that. That's what the news said. They said when they revisited Horn Island yesterday, they had an emotional moment because that's the last time that they saw their friend alive. That is the last time they had an emotional time on Horn Island. Okay, that's what the news said. That ain't what I said.
Deal with that later. So then let's listen to Javon, Nolan's other best friend. Now, another problem I got with this whole story, Art, is Nolan allegedly had too many best friends.
Yep.
I'm trying to find out, how does Nolan...
Wait, stop. That's what I'm talking about. How do you have so many best friends? I'm thinking I had best friends, but they don't even talk to me no more. Because I have a strong opinion. They don't like me, they don't talk to me no more. So how are we best friends? I don't have too many best friends now. How did he have so many? He's my best friend. It's like they playing in our face. He's our best friend. He's my best friend. Not friend, best friend. Okay? He had a lot of best friends for somebody to leave him out there. Okay? When somebody, in my mind, I guess they got best friend. We got different definitions. Your best friend is almost like your sibling. That's the way I'm thinking. My best friend. Okay? You mean friend or associate. I'm saying now those just associates.
Have so many best friends. And why did all of these so-called best friends leave their best friend on White Devil's Horn Island without his cell phone and keys? I'm trying to figure this out. So Javon claims he's Nolan's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Warren claims he's Nolan's best friend. And Trayston allegedly claims that he's Warren's best friend.
Right.
So did Warren have 3 best friends? Excuse me. Did Nolan have 3 best friends?
Mm.
Did Nolan have 13 best friends? Did Nolan have 30 best friends?
Mm.
Because if Javon is the best friend of Nolan, and if Warren is the best friend of Nolan, and if Trayston is the best friend of Nolan, exactly how many best friends did Nolan have? Are y'all making this up? Who did Nolan tell Warren was his best friend? Who did Nolan ever tell Trayston was his best friend? I'm not going to question Javon, because he's a brother. And I do believe that there's a strong chance that they may have been best friends. And I say that not only because Javon is a brother, Art, but I also felt that Javon, through the investigation team and alley-oop, with some of the answers that he gave on TMZ. Some of Javon's answers, in my opinion, kind of made it clear to me he actually cared about Nolan. He actually cared about Nolan. I believe Javon actually cared about Nolan. And because of that, I'm willing to say that Javon may have actually been Nolan's best friend. I wish somebody would have asked Javon, Art, to your knowledge, has Nolan ever called Warren his best friend? Has Nolan ever called Tristan his best friend? To your knowledge, Javon, has Nolan ever told you that Warren and Tristan were best friends of his? Because, Art, I'm having a problem with this three best friend narrative. Okay? I used to be 18 years old. You might have one best friend. You may have two. Don't get me wrong. If you all hang in a pack, you could have three best friends. But according to Javon's own words, Art, he didn't really hang around with them other guys too much. That's what I allegedly thought I heard him say. He didn't hang around with them guys too much. So if you got 2 or 3 or 4 best friends, you guys normally travel as a group. Javon seemed like he kind of spent most of his time with Nolan alone, just the two of them, not with Tristan and Warren. Although he knew them, it didn't appear that he hung out with them on the regular. So how could they all then be best friends? It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's unlikely. So, according to Javon, Art, he saw Nolan at 3:40 on the island. According to Javon, what I heard him say to TMZ allegedly was that he had another friend who was involved in an altercation and that he left Nolan at about 3:40 to go check on his buddy, because according to Javon, his buddy was on another ship and the parents of whomever on this other ship were trying to get him off the island because he was crashing out. He never said who this friend was. He never exactly told us what happened, but he said, I left at 3:40 to go check on my friend on another boat because, quote unquote, well, these are not his words, I'm paraphrasing, he was kind of wilding out, crashing out, and he needed to help calm him down. I'm paraphrasing. He said when he got back, Nolan was nowhere to be found, and I'm paraphrasing. And Nolan's boat that he came on, Warren's boat, the so-called Big Daddy, the 22-foot Triton, had already left the scene. So according to Javon, I left Nolan at 3:40 to go deal with another situation. I came back, he was gone. According to Katie, the white girl who Nolan's white best friends are trying to use as an alibi in this situation. Okay, because they claim, and Warren said the same thing to Officer B.T. Coon when he spoke with him. They claim that Nolan told them, I'm going to hang back on this island and talk to Katie. You guys go ahead and I'll get back however I get back. Again, I'm paraphrasing. But guess what? We learned through Katie's sister that Katie said she has no knowledge of Nolan ever saying that. In fact, Katie said, Art, that Nolan told her, I got to get ready to head back to the boat because my friends are leaving soon. That don't sound like somebody who plans on staying, Art. Okay? According to her sister, Katie said Nolan told Katie, it's time for me to head back to the boat because my friends are going to be leaving soon. As far as I'm concerned, Art, Javon and Katie both threw us an alley-oop. Javon and Katie are throwing Sheriff Ledbetter of Jackson County an alley-oop because neither one of them are corroborating the story of Nolan's white friends on that boat. In fact, Javon said,
Also, Trayston, he said in his interview that he knew at least 50 people there with boats, and there's no way they would have Nolan would have been left there alone. He said that. And the way he said it, I caught it. He wanted people to know that. He had his arms crossed the whole time when he said it. He had his arms crossed the entire time.
this ain't adding up. Javon said, it's not like Nolan to say, you guys go ahead and leave me on this island and I'm just going to stay back to talk to this girl who I barely know. According to Javon, it don't make no sense. Javon ain't stupid, Art. That's his friend. He know damn well Nolan didn't tell them that he was going to stay back on that ship. And then Katie, I'm going to give a little bit of respect to Katie on this situation. Because as a white girl, Art, for her to come out and say that is not what happened, for her to come out and say that Nolan told me I got to get back to the boat because my friends are leaving, for her to say that, Art, that took a little bit of courage and honesty. That took a little bit of integrity. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to give her too much credit because she is trying to clear her name. What Katie is basically doing, Art, is she's saying, listen, y'all did whatever y'all did to Nolan, but you're not going to add me to the narrative. I'm not serving as nobody's alibi. I'm not helping nobody get out of this situation. You're not going to use me as a decoy, but I still appreciate Katie speaking up for Nolan, Art, because she didn't have to do it. Although she's trying to protect herself and stay out of the investigation, I appreciate Katie for letting the world know Nolan told me I got to head back to the boat because my friends are getting ready to leave. Now, according to Katie, Art, she spoke to Nolan sometime between 3 and 4:30. Now, her window appears to be wider than everybody else's window. So Javon's window is much smaller. He said, I saw him at 3:40, went to deal with another situation. By the time I came back, they were gone. Katie said, I spoke with him between 3 and 4:30. And I allege, Art, one of the reasons that Katie is making her window so wide is she trying to leave a little bit of wiggle room for Warren and them to get their story straight, allegedly. I think Katie trying to leave a little bit of wiggle room for Warren and them to get their story straight, Art. Now, according to our sister Christine, and my heart goes out to Sister Christine Nolan.
You said if no one has been arrested, you're not hearing from Crump. There's nothing to know. Well, it took, how many weeks, guys, did it take for them to arrest David, D4VD? It took them a long time to arrest David. There's no timetable on when somebody should be arrested. There's no time on that. There's no timetable. Just because nobody has been arrested yet doesn't mean that there's nothing there. It's taking a little bit of time, just like with David. It takes time. We have no idea when this is going to happen. So that's my answer to that.
Nolan's mother. My heart deeply, deeply goes out to you, Queen. According to Christine, Art, she heard from a coach who ran into Nolan on the island as well. And according to the coach, he spoke to Nolan between 2:30.
But do I think something happened to Nolan as far as somebody unaliving him? For sure, no doubt. No doubt. No, without a doubt. He was unalive, without a doubt. This thing happened. That's why I know nothing is new under the sun. I've seen this happen before in Cancun in the 90s. Stuff like this happened. And I could tell, and why do I know? Because of the way people are acting. That's why. This wasn't no accidental drowning. Because if it was, they would have announced it by now and it would have been over with. They're not doing that. And also, there's somebody possibly watching over their shoulder because Horn Island is federal property.
And 3:30. So Javon didn't see him after 3:40. The coach spoke to him sometime between 2:30 and 3:30. And Katie said her conversation with Nolan was between 3 and 4:30. So you know what that means, Art? We can pretty much digest, conclude that Nolan was likely to have been unalived, Art, sometime within the hour of 3:30 to 4:30. I'm going to insinuate that Nolan's life was taken because I do not believe he accidentally drowned. If he drowned, he was forcibly drowned. And we'll get to that in a minute. If Nolan drowned, he was forcibly drowned. He did not accidentally drown. He was a great swimmer. Miss me with the nonsense. That boy did not drown. If he drowned, it was by force. So again, Art, all three of these people, arguably the last three to see him alive, except for those who took his life, Katie, the coach, and Javon, are arguably the last three people to see Nolan alive, except for those who took his life on that boat, allegedly. That's my position. So they're all basically cutting off around 3:30, Art. Remember, they made the call for the emergency sea tow at 4 o'clock. Javon said he cut out 3:40. The coach, 3:30. They made the call at 4 o'clock. That conversation we heard, the sea tow call, which we're going to talk about in a minute, that took place at 4. It sounded like there was some struggling going on in the background. Nolan could have been getting unalived while they were making the call, Art. Nolan could have been getting unalived while they were making the call. Nolan could have been getting choked out while they was on the phone with Cito. So again, Art, my position is Nolan lost his life somewhere within the hour of 3:30 to 4:30. Now, before we go any further, Art, I need Ben Crump investigation team and Sheriff Ledbetter's investigation team to have a conversation with Javon, because according to Javon's statements on TMZ, the police never spoke to him. And I have serious concerns with the manner in which this investigation has been carried out so far, Art. I have very serious concerns with the manner in which this investigation has been carried out so far. So anyway, Javon said police never spoke with him. Why? We need a conversation with Javon, not because I think he's a suspect. I believe Javon is innocent, but we need to find out what he knows. That's number one. We also need a conversation, Art, with the coach. Who is this coach that Sister Christine said contacted her and told her he had a conversation with Nolan on the island between 2:30 and 3:30? We need to find out what he knows. And according to Katie's sister, she is already cooperating with the authorities. But here's why those three got to be spoken to, Art. Not only so we find out what they know, Art, but did they see each other during their conversation with Nolan? Because Javon, if you was talking to Nolan and left him at 3:40, and if Katie was talking to Nolan sometime between 3 and 4:30, and if the coach was talking to Nolan between 3:30 and 4:30, Art, at least two of you should have ran into each other. Did the coach see Javon? Did Javon see the coach? Did the coach see Katie? Did Katie see the coach? Did Katie see Javon? Did the coach see Katie? Art, if all three of them are saying they saw Nolan for the last time, roughly within the same hour, hour and a half, Art, did y'all run into each other? Let me tell you why I'm asking this question, Art. And I'm not throwing no shade at my brother Javon. I like Javon. I'm not throwing no shade at Miss Katie McCormick. I don't know her. I'm not throwing no shade at the coach, Art. But the reason I need to know why all y'all put your time within the same frame and you may have not possibly seen one another, Art, are you guys keeping yourself out of the window of witnessing this crime by saying you didn't see him after 3:30. I want you to follow what I'm saying here, Art. It's kind of interesting that they all saw him last at 3:30, not after 3:30. Javon 3:40, roughly 3:30. My point is, Art, for all three of them to have the same exact time, if they did not see each other at all during these conversations with Nolan, are they pushing up the window of time during which they saw Nolan so they cannot be included in this investigation as a witness to it?
I get what he's saying. He wants them to question everybody to find out their whereabouts. And the only way to do that, so basically it's a couple ways they can get to the truth. There's a couple ways they can do it. They have to subpoena everybody's cell phone. Everybody's a suspect. What did the sheriff say in the Nancy Guthrie case? He said everybody's a suspect. Everybody is. And he's right about that. Everybody is a suspect until you go through the process of elimination. Everybody has to be a suspect. Everybody. You got to go through the process of elimination. So everybody's cell phone must be looked at. Everybody's cell phone data must be subpoenaed. Everybody. Until they figure it out. Until they figure out what's going on. I mean, that's just the bottom line at this particular juncture. Okay. Everybody cell phone data has to be looked at to find out where everybody was at that. So what they got to do is they have to recreate that day. Okay. They got to recreate it. They have to recreate the day and find everybody's whereabouts. Everybody. Everybody must be accounted for. All right. Everybody must be accounted for. And then from there, then you go from there. Because if I'm a private investigator, I need to know everybody's whereabouts. I need to subpoena everybody. Everybody on that island with him, as far as I'm concerned, they're a suspect. Everybody. Until I go through the process of elimination. And that's going to take probably months to do it. But because they saying they want a thorough investigation. That's the way it has to be. Until we get to the bottom of it. Because I believe some people are scared out there, and some people just is not forthcoming. That's what I believe. So, they can miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? I was like I said, I was born during the day, but not yesterday. And today is the anniversary of me being born anyway. And I was born during the day on August 8th. During the day. I even know the time when I was born. I know the exact time. Okay. But I can assure you it was during the day, but not yesterday. I can assure you this. Okay. I done been many times around the sun, baby. Many times. Many times around the sun. Many times around the sun. And I just know for a fact that something ain't right. You feel me? Something just ain't right.
A crime. In other words, Art, I don't think Javon had nothing to do with it. I know he didn't. But is he saying he saw Nolan a little earlier than he saw him, so he can't be pulled into the investigation? I don't think Katie had nothing to do with the crime, but is Katie putting her conversation with Nolan a little earlier than it actually took place to make sure she can't be dragged into the investigation as a witness to a crime? Is it possible that the coach is putting his conversation with Nolan earlier than what it was, Art, to make sure he cannot get dragged into the investigation?
I mean, you said, was I on the list? What, for asking questions? Why would I be on the list for asking questions? I know the law. I know it more than the average person. I know my rights. I know what I can say and not say. And if that makes me get on the list, it's not going to make me lose sleep over it. I'm not going to lose sleep. You said, yes, sir. I was born in 1962, seen a few things myself. Right. We don't seen a few things to just wait. Just got to wait till this thing is over. I mean, in my opinion, they could have been ruled this a drowning by now. Because see, let me tell you why. Even if he drowned, it still has to go to the grand jury. That's how Mississippi do things out there. Anything that's other than natural circumstances, like if he died of natural causes, that don't go to the grand jury. If you had a regular accident, like an unfortunate regular car accident, that doesn't go to the grand jury. But if you've been drinking and you've been speeding, you've been doing all kind of crazy stuff, that's going to the grand jury. Somebody died or whatever, or if it's a crime. So drownings automatically go to the grand jury. But being that they're holding up the autopsy, that means it's evidence. That means they're gonna possibly use that, and we're not going to be privy to it. Never. They're not gonna let us. They're not gonna let us know the contents of the autopsy. Never. They're not even gonna let the family know too much, because the reason being that could be possible evidence one day. You want somebody to have a fair trial. You don't want stuff getting leaked to the public. That's why. That's why I think somebody's in trouble here.
I don't think they had anything to do with it, but they could have been a witness to a homicide, Art. They could have been witness to a homicide. If they did not see each other, if none of those three people, the coach, Javon, and Katie, if they did not see each other at all talking to Nolan, if none of them saw each other talking to Nolan, at least two of them are lying about the time they last saw Nolan. Are you following me?
All right, stop right there. The last time they saw Nolan, let's go back to Warren. This is Warren's own words. He said the last time he saw Nolan, he saw him with Katie. He had his arm around her. He said to him, man, he said they gave each other a head. Now he said, Nolan, you crazy. He said it just like that. You crazy, Nolan, you crazy. And that was about 3 or 3:30. That's the last time he ever saw him. But then he said after that, they were getting ready to go because they were having a bilge pump issue on the boat. And his boy was yelling for Nolan to get on the boat. But Nolan didn't want to get on the boat because he was still with Katie. So he contradicted himself. Okay? It's not that I'm trying to pick on him, but wait a minute. I thought you said the last time you saw him was 3 or 3:30. When he had his arms around Katie, you said, oh, you crazy. Right? Or so how do you know that somebody was yelling at him to get on the boat? How did you know that? See? And why did he have to go back on y'all boat? Why did he have to go back on that boat? Because he went on another boat, right? Why did he have to go on that boat? He could have went on any boat. It was 4 boats and y'all all knew each other. He could have went back on Bart's boat. Uh-oh. He could have went on any boat. Okay? So we don't know. We got to let the investigators figure this out. That's why this is going to take a while. This is very complex because it's involving a lot of moving parts. Thank you for the birthday wish, Sybil Parks. I appreciate you. Another 360 around the sun. You know how that go. that means I got wisdom. And look, it's funny. My friends, they notice it's a Jubilee, right? They said, "Hey, man, your Jubilee and whatnot." See, because I have friends on Facebook that I know since kindergarten. That's crazy. And they already know. They don't even have to ask me my age. They know because they know me that long. That's crazy. I have a very famous friend. She's famous. And she wished me happy birthday today. I ain't gonna tell y'all who she is because y'all ain't gonna believe me. Unless you go to my Facebook and go find her. Then you will be like, okay. But you have to go to my personal Facebook, not my Facebook for this page. And then you'll know, because I know somebody that know Puff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 6 degrees. I'm like 1 degree of separation from everybody. But she was like, yeah, happy birthday on your Jubilee. I said, how you know? She said, I know you since first grade or kindergarten. I said, oh, that's right. But that's very rare, man, to like know people that long. That's crazy. But what I'm trying to say is I don't live enough, just like what's the name in here that's born in 1963. We don't live enough where you can't fool us. We need some receipts. Thank you, Sienna. I like the name, by the way, Sienna. I'm not saying, listen to me, let me say this, guy. Thank you, Sienna, for the birthday wish. Let me just say this. I'm not saying nobody did it. Guys, you know the water out there, right? How it looks. You can easily slip under the water. We know this. But that's not the point. We want the answers to get to it. You see what I'm saying? And guys, I don't follow cases enough to know something ain't right here. You know why? Drownings, people drown all the time. All you gotta do is, okay, guys, look, you know what they could say? Preliminary, it looks like a drowning. Okay, we're not gonna tell you, but we're leaning towards a drowning, but we still gotta go to the grand jury. They're not even saying that. They're not even saying that. That's how we know this is a problem. As we know it's a problem. And here's the thing. Let me just say this. Do anybody here think, was it race involved? Do anybody think so? Or do you think somebody don't got liquored up and something crazy happened with teenage guys, testosterone flying? It could have been a beef. Could have been a beef because somebody said that there was multiple fights out there. I don't know why you got to go all the way out there and get in a fight, but I know how young people are. I do. So something crazy happened, and it happens. It's not. We know that, but his parents want to know the answers to it. That's all. They not saying Warren did it. He may not have done nothing. In fact, for him, I want to say this. Do I have him at the top of my list? No. You know why? Even though well, it could have been that, Nayland. I don't know why they hit your comment. You said race and a girl. Race at the bottom of the list because I know how teenage boys act. But you might have to put that up there because we don't know their mentality. Like, oh, he with her. And let me just say this, guys. If it's true, because everybody keeps saying he was with her. What did Warren say? Oh, I saw him when Katie had his arm around her. I said, oh, you crazy. Yeah, but she's kind of like, for the boys, they might think she's hot. I'm just telling y'all this because I know how, because I had to I was a substitute teacher for a little bit. And I know how they operate. Okay. Because I don't sat up there and talk to these people. I don't know who's worse. Was it the grade school kids or the high school kids? For me, it was the high school kids because they don't know how to fucking listen. See, the grammar school people, I was Mr. Such and Such, Mr. Max. They listen to me. Thank you, Corvette Girl. I appreciate it. Hey, Ryan, happy birthday. Everybody, Ryan, wish him a happy birthday. We birthday twins. Happy born day, Ryan. Remember, Ryan, this is the Lions Gate. This is the height of the Lions Gate. So manifest what you want right now. Don't tell nobody. Just write it down. Hope you get it. That's for everybody. You said race at the very top. Let me think about it. Race at the very top because white folks stick together and will not hesitate to lie. We're gonna come back to that. Let me see. Seems like an all wait, excuse me, seems like an around the way girl. Happy birthday, Ryan. We birthday twins. Let's say this. She's the type, I'm telling you from dealing with kids, because I did that part-time. I was a substitute teacher. And I started working at the high school because they needed help. Because this lady went on maternity leave and I was the substitute. And well, the substitute to the substitute. Okay. If that makes sense. Because even the substitute was pregnant. It was crazy. But I didn't really teach a class. It was like, what you call that, homeroom? What do y'all call it? It's like kind of like it's not a class, but it's kind of like a class. So I had them and we used to sit and talk. I was like kind of like their confidant, right? The stuff that used to come out these kids' mouths, man. And it left me dumbfounded. I'm sorry I told them to come to me if they got problems. I'm sorry. Because I didn't want to take on them issues. Right. And they come up to me with problems. I say, y'all in high school. What kind of shit y'all got going on here? They like little old people. That's what they were acting like. And I ain't had guys, some of the stuff they had, I ain't had no answers to it. I said, I need to call the police. That's why I said everybody started laughing, but it was crazy. But I know how boys are at that age. They're crazy. You said thrown in the ocean, media storm, all the way silent now. That's gangster. Are you thinking that's what happened? BT? What is it? B2? B247? That's what you think happened? You said 7 teenagers witnessed murder on boat, body thrown in the ocean, a media storm, and all the way silent. Now that's gangster. You think that's what happened? I'm asking. You think that's how it went in that sequence? That's hard, yo. That's some cold stuff right there. If that's the way it happened, that's cold. Somebody gonna start talking. I don't care. Somebody gonna talk. Especially when you got the females around. They are not trying to go down for these punks. Somebody could suffer for whoever did it. But yeah, it got to be jealousy because Nolan. I was looking at him out there. He transformed his body. He didn't look the same when he was in high school. He was starting to get bigger because he was working out with the college boys, and he probably hanging out with his college boys, and he got a new attitude. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be an aspiring D1 athlete. But he wasn't the only. What's his name out there? He was a D1 athlete. He's one of the top 15 punters in the nation. Y'all hear me? We don't know what he's gonna be this year. Last year he was in the top 15 in the nation. What happens if he be top 5 this year? You know what I'm saying? He trying to sit up there and make the National League. Okay, the National Football League. Guys, every now and then punters get drafted. It happened the year when Shador got drafted. They drafted 2 punters. I could not believe it. I thought they usually go on as unsigned free agents. A punter got drafted. Actually, the last time a kicker did. All right, this is just a side note for anybody want to know. Name the kicker that was up for the Heisman Trophy. A kicker. And a kicker going in the Hall of Fame, Adam Vinatieri. He going into the Hall of Fame this year. Adam Vinatieri. He was a really good kicker. Guys, a kicker was up for the Heisman Trophy. His name is Sebastian Janikowski, Florida State. Guys, he was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. That's how good he was. Guys, he won games on his feet. He won games. kicking 60-yard field goals, okay, to win a game. Sebastian Janikowski. Well, I'm a Florida State fan, that's why. But I do follow Colorado football right now. You know what I'm saying? Buffs Nations Daily. I had to, give you that plug. BUFFS, Buffs Nations Daily. Colorado Buffaloes, check me out. Subscribe. So I just a side note, but Bart, I heard he good though. That's what I heard, man. This ain't no regular dude, man. His dad played for Florida. His dad won a national title with Tim Tebow. Okay? Look at me. I know how to big people up, don't I? Don't I, Ryan? Don't I know how to hype people up? I do. Because he won his father won a national title. You see what I'm saying? Cam Newton was on the team. Yeah, Cam was on the team. I don't know if y'all know that. He didn't play because he was backing up Tim Tebow. His dad knew Aaron Hernandez. Ryan, his dad knew Aaron Hernandez, yo. Because Aaron Hernandez was on the team. No, actually, was he? He was on the team, I believe. Now Bart is kicking. You see what I'm saying? And he's known in the nation. Okay? He was a JUCO All-American. This ain't no regular dude that was on the boat, yo. He wasn't regular. You know how we big up our football players. They're like our modern day gladiators, whether he's a kicker or not. You know how we are. But he got a name in the game, yo, Bart. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, he took his boat out because Warren said his dad wasn't going, so he let Bart have a boat, and they went on out. But I can tell you right now, some BS happened. I just don't know who did it. Yeah, Sebastian Granikowski was a great kicker. Heisman Trophy went. He was up for the Heisman Trophy. That's crazy. You have to be a good kicker. You're up for the Heisman Trophy as a kicker. People don't believe when I say it. They go look. And there was an offensive lineman that year that was up for the Heisman Trophy. An offensive lineman. A finalist for the Heisman Trophy. That was Orlando Pace. Orlando Pace, Ohio State. But anyway, so you had him around, and he lawyered up because he said, y'all ain't gonna keep my name in your mouth because you messed my damn career up. I ain't had nothing to do with this. So he went ahead and lawyered up. I would have did the same thing. Ain't nobody gonna keep my name in your mouth and I ain't do it. Don't sit up here and put my name in it. So yeah, I would lawyer up too. But the fact of the matter is, though, us looking on the outside in, we still don't know. We weren't there. So we just gonna have to wait. You said if he don't get justice, hold up. If we don't get justice for Nolan Wells, then we as a race of people need our own laws and our own courthouses, our own school hospitals, and so on, because we are not being treated fairly in this nation. Well, under the auspices of the United States, that's not going to happen. We get the law supposed to apply to everybody. And the only thing I could say to you is just be patient. How long did it take for them to arrest David, Ryan, D4VD? It took them months to arrest him. Look, Joseph sitting up there laughing. Joseph, don't laugh, man. Don't laugh, Joseph, because you just came right on out the. No, you didn't. He said Mississippi doesn't care about being called racist. It had a reputation for 100 years. Excuse me, Sebastian Janikowski. I had his name wrong. It's Janikowski. You said, too bad Sebastian didn't win a Super Bowl. No, he didn't. But Adam Vinatieri going into the Hall of Fame, he's a kicker. Straight up to Adam V. But I played football too. I was a tight end. But now I'm looking like a 3 technique. But I was a tight end. But We don't know. We're going to have to wait. But every day, something is new on this case. Every single day. Yesterday, the boys went out to the island for the first time. No, not for the first time. He'd been out there with the good officer. He went out there, but he took the officer out there. But now he went back out there with his lawyers, him and Jax. Jax went out there too. I didn't even hear about no Jax, did you? Now Jax's name in it. I never put Jax. I didn't know Jax was with him. Now everybody talking about Jax. He went ahead and lawyered up. He said, y'all ain't gonna have my name in your mouth. So now I ain't said shit. Did you know about Jax? Miracle? Now Jax is in it. Where did I get the list? You don't have Instagram, do you, Ryan? How can I get this to you? You got Instagram? Can you find me on Instagram real quick? Go to my page and you should find my Instagram. Click on that and send me a message. I'll send you the picture. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'll give you the link right here. Give me a second. Hold on. I'll be right back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right, Vaughn? You said, who is Jax? God, I didn't even know a Jax. I didn't even know. Like, now all of a sudden he got a lawyer. Jax was with him, allegedly. And I'm like, Jax, ain't nobody was talking about Jax. I ain't know nobody. Jax was there. But Jax says, you ain't gonna have my name, so shit. I'm getting a lawyer. You said it took David about 7 months before he got arrested. Hold on, let me give you the link. Give me a second. You said there is no equality in America. There never was. Sad but true. Hold on one second. Oh, is that it, Medea? Thank you, Medea. Yeah, Ryan, click that link. Send me a message. I'll give you the picture. Let's see. Hey, Medea, what's going on? Like I said, I just hope everything work out. I hope everything work out and the family gets some type of closure. Let's see what else Umar talking about.
The art. All I'm saying is I have my suspicions as to whether or not this convenient 3:30 cutoff window, I have my suspicions that this convenient 3:30 cutoff window may have not actually been the time they saw Nolan. They may have saw Nolan closer to the time he lost his life. Now, stay with me, Art. I want to back up for a minute. And I want to say this to Brother Elmore, Nolan's stepfather. And I want to say this to Coach Tracy, who I believe was one of Nolan's coaches. Brother Elmore, the stepfather, and Coach Tracy, the coach, both said on national television, Art, that they don't think race played a role in this at all. Elmore, Tracy, two dark-skinned black men in Mississippi, and both of them said on national television, I don't think race had anything to do with this case. I am disappointed in...
All right, Ryan, I sent it to you.
Brother Elmore. I am disappointed in Coach Tracy. How dare you help these young people avoid the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. federal hate crimes law, Art, by you saying you don't think this had anything to do with race, Brother Elmore and Coach Tracy. You are helping these white folks avoid federal hate crimes charges. And let me tell you why this is important, Art. Let me tell you why this is important. Under the federal hate crimes law, Matthew Shepard, James Byrd, signed by Barack Obama, 2009. Under the Federal Hate Crimes Act, Art, you can go to jail for life. You can go to jail for life under the Federal Hate Crimes law. So if you can go to jail for life under the Federal Hate Crimes Act, Art, why is Nolan's stepfather and coach telling white folks they don't think it had anything to do with race? I still love my brother Elmore. I still love my brother Coach Tracy. But would y'all please watch what comes out of your mouth during this investigation? Because you are undermining justice for Nolan. I hope you're listening, brother Elmore. And I hope you're listening, Coach Tracy. You are undermining justice for Nolan by saying you don't think race had anything to do with it. How in the hell do you know? How do you know if race had anything to do with it? How well do you know these young people? It was 30 of them, Art. It was damn near 30 white youth spread across 3 boats. How many of them did Elmore know? How many of them did Coach Tracy know? So how are you going to go on TV and say, I don't think it had anything to do with race? Why are you helping them avoid accountability for what they may have done? I don't know if they did it, Art. You don't know if they did it. They don't know if they did it. And they definitely don't know if it was motivated by race. What they should have said, Art, is what Javon said. And that's why I like the young brother Javon. That's why I like that young brother Javon. His mother, Sister Tashima, shout out to you. You raised a good kid. When TMZ asked Javon if he thought it had anything to do with race, Art, when TMZ asked Javon if he thought this had anything to do with race, he said, what? I don't want to answer that question. I don't.
Yeah, he did say that. He said, I don't want to answer the question. That was a good answer because he don't know. I don't know either. Because Umar is right. If they can prove that it was that, it becomes federal. The federal government can take over. You said, Vaughn said, you said, who is Art? That's the person he's interviewing with. Let me just say, it's a technical thing. All right, so if he can prove, it's a couple ways they can get to the federal situation. If they consider him Asian, they can get it that way. First, they have to prove that there was a murder take place. They have to prove, because remember, in court, you have to prove things beyond reasonable doubt. It's one thing to say that, okay, somebody did it, but what's up with the evidence, though? We know, does the evidence match it? Is there enough probable cause to go to a trial? That's what the grand jury is going to figure out with the evidence. It's all about the evidence right now. And there are cameras, from where they docked the boat at, there's cameras everywhere. So they may have done a sloppy job in their own camera. We don't know. We're not going to be privy to that information unless there's a trial. But right now, we're not going to know. But there are cameras. There are cameras, and there's cameras pointing at the island too. But I don't know how good those cameras are. But where they were at that night, there was cameras all along the coastline. So it takes a while for the investigators. It could take months because they got to go through all that footage. They have to retrace everybody. It's not just one boat. I bet you they're looking at other boats. So this thing could take a while. So we don't know. But if they do determine that it was murder, then now it's all about the evidence. The evidence has to point to it. Now, if it points to it and they feel like a crime was committed in commission of another crime, now it's federal. The federal government can take over. I don't be surprised if the feds come in after they made arrests and say, we got the case. Don't be surprised. But they have to prove it. Remember, if the feds come in, they have an airtight case just about. Just about, like, I don't know how many percentage of the time. They have a very high conviction rate. If the feds come in, somebody really in trouble. Somebody is really in trouble. But the feds, they're watching. I'm pretty sure they are. And they're there to lead, assist, to lend a helping hand if need be, if the local authorities don't have it. But when they say a thorough investigation, this could take months. even if she's going to the grand jury, whoever it is, because they could come back with more information a while from now after everything is processed, because it takes a while to even pull the data from the cell phones. It's almost damn near virtually impossible to get it from Meta. But whatever they can get from Meta, they'll try. Now, you said the cover up is definitely racial, right? Okay, so if you think there's a cover up and the good old boy says they trying to help out, I get what you're saying there. But here's the thing, it can't even be a cover up now. I explained it earlier. There's too many high profile people involved now that have more pull than these people out there. The overall federal conviction rate in the United States is roughly 90% to 95%. And foul play was wrong, but the kids lied and the parents helped them to cover up. Race is a big part of the case. Now, here's the thing, though. What did Warren say happened the next day? He said he woke up to his dad saying, "Hey, did you hear about Nolan?" And he said his parents, his dad and his stepmother, they got their boats ready to go out and look for him, and they went to the island that day to go look for him. Guys, you know the most intimidating thing is when the feds come in, especially when they sit down with you. Because when they're asking you questions, they already know the answer to it. You hear the police? That's the reason why I ain't go to the festival. You hear that, right? That's the reason why I ain't go over there. Somebody gonna get the block, if you know what I mean. It's always like that, especially the Caribbean. Always end like that. But so they have it like the investigation can take a while, man. It's just, and also whatever evidence they have, they're not telling us. They're not going to. They're not, first of all, they're not going to tell us what's in the autopsy right now. They're not doing it. And even though a lot of people say, Max, he drowned, man, it's an unfortunate accident. I get it, but they're not saying that. They're not saying it. And it's a bad sign for whoever is involved. That's a bad sign. Because if the feds is looking over their shoulder, they gotta do the right thing. They have to. And what's his name? Congressman came out and said something. No, a senator. I forget the senator's name. He came out and said that they must have justice and answers. He said that. That means the feds involved. That means that they're treating this at a political way. Because remember, the feds, they it's a political thing too. This is political. And they're going to use this case. Yes, it was found in federal grounds. That's why I'm saying, Vaughn, it at any time they could take over. We don't know yet because they're not going to tell us. If they're not going to tell us. They will tell local law enforcement not to say nothing. That's how they operate. Yeah, it would have been over now, Ryan. But no, Ryan. No, not necessarily. They still have to bring the case to the grand jury anyway, even if it was a drowning. They still do that. If it was natural causes, no grand jury. They're just case over. But they would have at least told us, Ryan. They would have said, yeah, it was a drowning. Okay. They kept the contents of his throat for a reason. They did. They kept that for a reason, even though it's not out of the ordinary for them to keep that, but they did it. It's something that they wanted to keep studying. Now, some people might say, well, we don't trust them because she has a past, but we don't know who did the autopsy. I don't know if it's a male or female, but somebody's watching over their shoulder. That's the feds. You know how scary they are? Especially when they come swoop down, especially the marshals. That's a scary sight. They come in early in the morning to get you. If they're going to make arrests, they're going to do it at multiple simultaneously. They're going to hit them all up at the same time, and it'll be early in the morning. They could have already taken over, but they're not telling us. And they will tell local law enforcement to be quiet as well until they make arrests. That's why they have a high conviction rate, because they move in silence. No, if they don't find enough evidence right now, no, the case is not over. But it could be over. I know what you're saying. She could say, "Well, I gave them all the evidence, and they don't find anything, so it's over." Right, you're right about that. However, there's no statute of limitations on murder, so if there's more evidence come down the line, they could come back and entertain it. But yeah, she could say the case is over, and guess what? We don't have she don't have to show us the information, the evidence that she collected. She don't have to show the public. It just be sealed away. I found that out. That's how it is in Mississippi. But I do suspect though that if let's say if she do close the case, right? Guess what? They might get a knock on their door. U.S. Marshals open up. Now it's a federal case because they can take over. They do it. They swoop down. It's very scary the way they do it. They did it to my neighbor. And check this out. They were foremen, and I had to leave early for work. This is when I was in Virginia. I had to leave. I was like 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm leaving. They scared the hell out of me because they peeping around the corner. And I'm like, I saw somebody peeping and had a mask on. Guys, I almost passed out. Because I said the damn what do you call it? The Rob boys got me now. They got me. I almost passed out. But I said they got me, Ryan. They got me. And he did like this, the come here motion. Come here. And I froze. I'm like, I'm not coming here. I'm not doing that. And then he peeped out some more and I saw the badge. I said, okay. I saw it said Marshals. I saw it. He said, shh, come here. Come here. He did it. Come here. Shh, shh, shh. He did just like that. Come here. He said, where are you going? And they were all lined up around the side of the building. I said, I'm going in my car. He said, get in your car. Don't make a noise. He said, get in your car. Don't make a noise. They all had masks. It was the most intimidating shit I've ever seen. Okay. They had guns. They had everything. Okay. So I'm walking to my car. They looking at me. I walk to my car and they motion, get in the car. And I left. Next thing you know, they run around the corner. And they got him. And one time, I'm sitting at the Diddy trial, right? The U.S. Marshals are all in there because it's a federal case. This one U.S. Marshal came in. He came in while we were all sitting there in the court. He looks around at everybody. He's like scanning the room like he's a robot. And he looks at me. He didn't even blink. He just looked at me. And he stayed on me. He's looking. Then he look again. Nah, that's not him. And then he's looking around again. Very intimidating. They're very intimidating. Some of them. Okay? They don't answer to nobody. Like the local law enforcement, they have the upper hand, not local law enforcement. Okay? And they could be very arrogant about it too. And 'cause I got a friend, I known him since first grade. He's with them. And yeah, they could be very intimidating looking. But I just happened to be leaving and we found out later what happened. They had like a short write-up when they arrested him and that was it. They accused him of, drugs and all that stuff. He had weight too, a lot of weight. I don't know. My neighbor, he never worked nowhere. I didn't know what he was doing. But now, I know. But if they come in at any time, they could swoop down and get people, and then they'll have a press conference just to let us know what they did after the fact. And after that, we won't hear nothing else into trial. That's how they operate. You said I don't trust the feds or the president. He really want to make America great again. Yeah. You said, yeah, right. Racist again. You really believe that when he said that? Let me share a story with you. So let me share a story with you. Back in the 80s, my mother used to work for Herschel Walker, the former football player. This is back when he was playing for the New Jersey Generals. Trump owned the team. And so he went to go get this, what do you call it? Penthouse on Pompton Avenue in Verona, New Jersey. It's like you're going to a Willowbrook Mall for all my people in Jersey. They wouldn't give him the apartment. They wouldn't let him buy it. And he was under, because Trump's like, yeah, this place, you'll like it. They wouldn't let him. They said no, thank you. They treated him bad and everything. So he went back to Trump, like, hey, I didn't get the place. He said, why? He said, they wouldn't let me have it. And he knew exactly why. He got in his car. He went up there. He said, he said, not only if you don't give him this place, they didn't realize that he knew him. He said, not only if you don't give him this place ain't gonna be no more good afterwards. He threatened them. And they said, oh, Mr. Walker, we sorry. We didn't realize you were Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker. Now they call him Mr. Walker. You can have the place, Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker, you can have the place. He did that. And another thing he did when he was president the first time, he made the Japanese president wait until Tiger pitched the final hole in the Masters. He wanted to be the first one to call him. He made the Japanese president wait, dog, so he can wish his boy, like, yo, congratulations for winning the Masters. Okay? When he became president the first time, he pardoned Jack Johnson, the boxer, because he said he ain't do shit. So did that sound like somebody that want to make America great again, or was he lying to get their votes? I'll ask you. He was lying to get their votes, man. He played them. He used their hate against them and get their votes. I don't think he's racist. He's an elitist. It's a difference. Let me tell you something else you don't know. He used to hang out with Alpo Martinez. I know he makes them like that, but they didn't realize he's not for them. He's not even for them either. He's an elitist. Yeah, he lied to get their vote. They didn't even realize he was Democrat. They didn't realize how much money he donated to the Clintons. They didn't realize that. He played chess and got their votes. You damn right he said make America great again, because he knew what they were going to take it as. He knew that. He knew that. He pardoned Jack Johnson. Did that sound like somebody racist to you? Why would he pardon Jack Johnson if he don't like black? Why would he do that? The reason why he did it is because he's a boxing fan. And if you know, he was very instrumental in Mike Tyson's career back in the day. See, the Make America Great Again people, they didn't realize that. They didn't know that. This man from Queens, man, he played him. I know he played him, but a lot of people don't know that because they're not from the tri-state. They don't know that. They don't know he used to hang out with Alpo Martinez. They don't know that he's the most mentioned man in hip hop. And he's proud of it. They don't know that. They don't know that. And he played them. You know what I'm saying? He played them for the votes, yo. Now, is he wicked? I ain't saying he ain't wicked. I ain't saying he perfect. Okay? I'm not vouching for some of the shit. But what he did was he knew that he know after Obama was president, he know that there was a level of animosity in this country. Because one thing a lot of these people hated, that their kids had to grow up for 8 years as him as president. Because some of these kids never knew him, no other president but Obama. And some people hated that to the core. Okay? That he was president for 8 years. They hated that. And he knew it. He knew this was the time to come in. He said he was going to run for president back in the 80s when he was on Oprah show. He said it. But he said the time ain't right yet. Right? So he used their hate against him. It's like, you know what? Make America great again. And they thought he was the great white hope. You feel me? See, he knew about all that shit. You know, the great white hope. He's a boxing fan. You know what I'm saying? See who was at his first inauguration. See when John Jones was there. VIP. Why would John Jones be VIP? Because he invited him. That's why. Tiger was there. John Jones was there. Floyd Mayweather was there. Mike Tyson was there. Lennox was there. Those are all his boys. All of them was there. Go find out if he played golf with Michael Jordan or not. Go look. Go look. He does. He's a celebrity. See, we knew him as a celebrity back in the day. But see, he flipped the script because he got into some shit. He flipped the script and he became president. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not vouching for him, but I'm just telling you what he did. He used to hang out with Alpo Martinez, yo, at the rooftop in Harlem back in the 80s. Now, for me, that's kind of strange. Like, I'm like, damn, is he like, it's something weird about that. I can't put my finger on it. But let me tell you what Sammy the Bull said. So if you don't believe me, Sammy the Bull said I think it wasn't Art that asked him, because Umar is talking to Art right now. It wasn't Art. They said, how come the mafia did they try to extort Trump back in the day? He said, yes, we tried, but we couldn't get to him. And they said, why? They said he had former CIA operatives and FBI as bodyguards. Okay? He said that he was 10 steps ahead of us. That's how crafty he is. Okay? We knew this about him. This man survived Atlantic City unscathed. Straight gangster. This man is a gangster. Straight gangster in the White House, dog. He's a straight gangster. I'm telling you, he is. All I know. I know he is. Straight gangster, yo. Straight gangster. And not afraid of nothing. Okay? I don't even know if he got bodies under his belt, yo. I don't know. We don't know. But for him to survive Atlantic City, he had to be ruthless. And he had to deal with the mafia, because the mafia, if anybody know, back in the 80s, they had the cement companies. He had to deal with them because he was into construction. He had to. But they couldn't touch him. And he was not afraid of them. This was when John Gotti was still alive. He was doing business when Paul Castellano was still alive. He still got out unscathed. This is who they were fucking with. They didn't know. So what did he do? How can I become president, though? You feel me? Okay, I'm going to use their hate against them. Make America great again, damn it. Okay? And it worked. And it worked, yo. Look, now that he don't need Charlie Kirk no more, you don't even hear him mention no Charlie Kirk, do you? Because he used them. And then Charlie Kirk died. They was like, hey, Mr. President, you know, how you feel about Charlie Kirk? He started talking about something else. That's how cold he is. That was some cold shit he did. He started talking about something else. Okay, yeah, Charlie Kirk. They said, sir, your friend died, you know what I'm saying, Charlie Kirk. Oh, yeah, but what about, you know, the thing I got going on right now? He changed the subject. Let me tell you else how cold he is. He knew Charlie Kirk's wife before Charlie Kirk knew her. That's how cold he is. Think he's stupid if you want to. I'm telling you, don't judge a book by its cover, yo. That's a cold dude, yo. Straight cold, yo. And everybody in the tri-state that my age or older, we know that. We know that. He used their hate against them. Not saying that he's hateful. He could be, but he used it against them, though. Okay? He used it against them. And my mother used to see him. This is back in the day. My mother worked for Herschel Walker. She was the home health aide to his mother-in-law. And every holiday, he should come by with $3,000 in an envelope and give it to them. Gave my mother an envelope, straight up. He's not crazy. See, here's the thing about him, though. He's a cold piece of work, though. He's cold. Okay? He don't went bank. His companies don't went bankrupt so much. He knows how to play the system. He's been doing it because he know the bank still got to work with him. Because and when he had all that stuff in Atlantic City, they were at his mercy. So he used it against them. Yeah, he's a cold piece of work, man. Straight up. Everybody know that up here. He's from Jamaica. Now, if you say to him, where you from in New York? Mr. Trump. He'll say he from Jamaica. That's not true. Like, damn, he from Jamaica, Queens? Oh, he like that. No. He says that. He's from Jamaica Estates. Everybody knows this. He's from Jamaica Estates. He's from the suburbs. But let him tell you he's from Jamaica. He say Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Jamaica. You know, I used to hang out back in the day. And a lot of people let me tell you this. Who you think hooked them up with Melania? Russell Simmons did. Russell Simmons, the founder of Def Jam recording. He hooked them up with Melania. Because before he was with her, he used to be married to Marla Maples. And then before Marla Maples, he was with a sister. Everybody know who she is. I'm not gonna tell you who she is. Everybody know her. She a model. He's a dater. You know what I'm saying? But he's a very complex individual, because a lot of people don't understand why he used to hang out in these hip hop joints back in the day, because he didn't fit in. But he made himself fit in. So it was kind of, because it was strange. People used to see him show up like, yo, that's what's his name? Why is he here? Because Russell invited him, or Rick Rubin invited him, or somebody. You know what I'm saying? So he used to hang out in them circles. Now, did he hang around the old money in New York City? The answer is no. And we don't know why. Because he is old money. I don't know why he didn't hang with him. So he's a very complex person, and he got himself in some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just he's a complex dude, yo. And when he was doing America Great Again stuff, I knew what he was doing. And I thought it was hilarious. And I predicted it. I thought it was hilarious at the time. I don't think it's hilarious now. I thought it was like, because let me tell you what he did. If you go back to inauguration night, the first time, go look at his face when they told him, hey, sir, you're now the president-elect. Go look at his face, yo. And go look at Melania's face. They didn't think they were going to win. They thought their friends was going to win, Hillary and them. He was like, I won what? They said, sir, you're the president-elect now. He fucked around and won. I think the reason why he did that to make the Apprentice even more, because he was negotiating with the Apprentice at the time. I think he was doing it to even hype that, because if he lost, he can at least go back to the Apprentice. I think that's what he was thinking. It's too late. He won. What he did was he performed a heist. This was a heist that he performed. You know what I'm saying? He performed a heist, yo, and won. Because everybody believed him. Make America great again, man. You know, everybody know what that meant. Make it great again. We finally got our president. You know, so that's how it was, man. It's a matter of American history now. So it is, you know, history, all history ain't good history. So it's just a matter of history now. But very interesting times we're in, man. It really is. Very interesting times. He don't got himself in a situation with Iran. Lord have mercy. I'm just shaking my head now. Right. You said America has never been great, actually. I'll take that back. When we had Black Wall Street, it was great. Well, you know, Black Wall Street, you're thinking of Tulsa. But you know, Black Wall Street was all over the country. We had a Black Wall Street here in Montclair, New Jersey. It was predominantly black. It was upper middle class, and in upper Montclair is where the whites live, and that's where they worked for the whites. So that's why they had lower Montclair, which was upper middle class, and they also had their own doctors, grocery stores, everything like that. It was a former Black Wall Street there too, and it was so close to New York City, you know, so it was very popular even for people from New York City to move to Montclair. Now it's getting back to that now. It's actually moving back to that. A lot of people from New York, they finding it, you know, to go to New York, Montclair now. It's unfortunate. A lot of my friend, my ex-girlfriend, not my ex-girlfriend, her parents, they sold their house and they bought their house in 1973. There's only two owners of that house, but all them houses are selling for millions of dollars now. And it's very interesting story about that area, but it was like a Black Wall Street. But then what happened was during segregation, that ended everything. And they realized something during the Depression and stuff. They realized 'cause we saved Cadillac, the company Cadillac. We actually saved it because a lot of people, we couldn't put our money in the banks because they were considered white banks. So we had our money under, so we didn't lose anything when the financial crisis. Some people, we had our money under the beds. We were still buying. They allowed us to buy Cadillacs then and save the company. Yeah, Chicago had a Black Wall Street. Yeah, for sure they did. For sure they did. Chicago's very had a lot of prominent people in Chicago. A lot of prominent people out there. It's everywhere. It's like history. You know what I like about history? You can go get a book and find some shit out about history you ain't even know about. I'm learning every day on something about history I didn't know. Every day. Every day, because they keep it in books from us. They don't tell us everything, which is unfortunate, but they don't. And then you learn from different people you talk to, because everybody got a certain amount of knowledge that they could teach somebody. Everybody does. Everybody has something they could teach somebody. So you learn about stuff every day. I didn't realize it. That, I remember one time learning that in college. I was like, well, Black Wall Street, because I had a very interesting professor. You said not being racist, but can we ever come back to having our own communities and strive again in this country without doing business with the white man? Theoretically, you can, in theory. But things are really, really, really integrated. And you got to understand something. It's not about us, it's about the younger generation. Because each generation has their own thing. And the younger generation don't move like that. They just don't. Just like, with Nolan, he hung out with different people, not thinking it could be a dangerous situation. They don't think that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it happening like that for the younger generation. And now we have to look at what's the younger generation now? What's their name? They're under, well, you got the millennials, you got who's after Gen Z? We have to wait and see how they operate after Gen Z. I'll be an old man when they start doing their thing. I think the oldest of that generation now is 5 years old. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, but what's under Gen Z though? There's a new generation now. What's their name? Or is Gen Z still pending? I don't know. But it's the young, I say the 5-year-olds now. We have to wait to see how they move with society. I don't think they're going to move that way. Because you got to understand something. We are evolving. We eventually will evolve. I mean, I'm only one generation removed from Jim Crow, right? My mother grew up in it. But Generation Alpha. So we have at least another maybe 150, 200 more years for humans to evolve some more. I won't be here. I'll be in another avatar by then. I'll be in another avatar. Avatar is real, by the way. You have people saying, well, if you die, don't go to the light. Like we got a fucking choice. Okay. We don't have no choice. Unfortunately, my mother had an unfortunate situation when they had to revive her. She told me what happened. My mother told me. She said there was a light, and she went to it, and her father was waiting for her. And there is a light, and she said as real as right now. That's how you feel. You have all your feelings still, but you just feel light, like you floating. She told me that, yo. I said, well, did you have a choice? Was it the light? She said, I had no choice, just light, just like that. Your youngest is 8. So it's going to be up to your 8-year-old with how they move. See, your 8-year-old, they're not even going to have to drive a car. Did you see what Elon is doing? He going to have the new, did y'all hear about the new car he got coming out? That's going to kill a lot of cars, yo. that car is going to be that car. You can buy that car for $25,000. The new car he got coming out. It's not the Model 3. It's one under that. He said it's only going to be $25,000 to $30,000. That's going to kill a lot of automobile industry cars. It really is. He's trying to compete because we're trying to hold out because they don't want Japan and China cars coming over here. If Japan cars come over here, it's over with. It's over. It'll kill Tesla. And I think the government is protecting them. Because if they bring their cars over here, you can forget about it. They're better than Teslas. Better. They even have a Tesla killer over there. They want to allow it over here. But the Gen Zers, I mean the alphas, they're not gonna know. They're gonna have a different lifestyle. So I don't think it's gonna move back to that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think so. So you think we could be reincarnated into other bodies? Yeah, that's how it works. You said I was born in December 7th. You portaled in December 7th. But where were you before that? You don't know. The day of infantry. Wait, December 7th. You're right. Interesting. But on the other side, there's no time. So you could be on the other side for like what seems like 5 minutes, but here it could be 30 years. Yeah, Pearl Harbor, I know. Damn, Pearl Harbor, huh? That was an interesting, that was the last time that we were really attacked on this soil. Some people say, well, 9/11, but I don't even want to talk about 9/11. It's just, but you say you had dreams with people that you never met, and we were on a ship. This was during the Pearl Harbor. Watch this. Was it when? Do you know when this took place? Watch this. I'm gonna freak them out. They were wishing me a happy birthday, and I don't know who are, but they know me. Yeah, but you said you were on a ship, and you mentioned Pearl Harbor. Was this during the war? Were you on a warship? Did you have uniform, or do you remember? I know we kind of get into another topic, but we done with the regular topic because I've been talking about it for a while. I'm zeroed in on you right now. Were you say you were on a ship, right? Were you on a military ship? Yes or no? Or do you remember? Because you remember the dream, so it's a significance to it because you remember it. Everybody don't remember all their dreams, but for some reason you remember this one. You said I'm only 38, so if I was reborn in God, to me, a second chance to live this life again. Yeah, but my question is, you said in your dream you were on a boat and somebody's wishing you happy birthday. What kind of boat was it? Do you remember? You were on a military boat? Japan best-selling electric vehicle is a Nissan Sakura, an ultra compact battery electric Kia car. It's only developed with Mitsubishi starting roughly 13. Right, see 13 and 15 before incentives. So before that, it'd probably be, oh, that's before incentives. You said yes. Maybe God give me a second chance at life. So do you think he was like World War I or World War II? What do you think? What do you feel? All right, let me ask you this. Watch this. Do you think you were in World War I or World War II or some type of war? Wait till your gut tell you. Your feeling will tell you. You were a submarine. Okay, I'm here. I'm here to tell you, you died at war. That's when you died. You may have died at war and you back now. You're in another body. That's how it happened, bro. Remember, on the other side, time doesn't exist. So you portal back 38 years ago. So that's when you portal back. We don't get the pick when we portal back. God does. Or the creator or whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. That's when you portal back. And you remember that. Oh my God, it was Pearl Harbor. Oh my God, when you just said that, I got goosebumps. So I believe you. You died on Pearl Harbor, bro. Oh my God. And I got a chill when you said that. Yeah, man, you died. You died on Pearl Harbor, fam. You may have. Well, not you, not the essence of you right now, your other avatar. But your soul never dies. You know, energy never dies, correct? We learned that in science class. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for your birthday today. Energy never dies. It transforms. So you went back to the essence and then you portaled in 38 years ago. So there was a gap there. But if you keep remembering, if you had that dream again, but see, you remembered it though. So that's some significance to it because our dreams are our past lives. That's what they say. That's why I believe you. You got goosebumps at the same time. Yeah, it's true then, bro. Your soul, that's not you. Your soul did that. Your soul just reminded you. Yeah, write it down and remember it. Because as you get older, you start to lose that memory because you're getting closer to get back to the essence. Did you know as close as we live long enough to get real old, we start to revert back to when we were infants. We start to lose memory, stuff like that, and then we get ready to go back to the light. Because all we are is light going back to the light. It's crazy. You know what's interesting though about the creator? They did it so perfectly. Because imagine if we remembered every detail of our past life. This world would be messed up because people be going back to their families, starting trouble. Like, yo, it's me, yo. No, you died. No, it's really me. It's really Bob, yo. But I'm black now. Let me stop, y'all. Let me stop. It's like, you Bob, Billy Bob. Yeah, I'm Billy Bob, but I'm Max now. It's hard to explain. Yeah, the Akashic records. Did you know that they recreated the Akashic records? Everything you do online is being recorded. So it's almost like they're recording the Akashic records in real time, like the Akashic records does. Right? They're doing it in real time. Because think about this. 50 years from now, they can be able to see this live chat if they wanted to. Because everything is being recorded. Everything is data. Yeah, can you imagine that, right? Like, look, he's like, you ain't Billy Bob. Yes, I am. But I'm Max now. You know what I'm saying? Like, life would be messed up. Life would be messed. All right, this is how I can prove it. Watch this, y'all. This is gonna blow your mind, but it's not. Let me ask you a question. Roughly, how many grandmothers did it take for you to be here? Didn't your grandmother have a mother? And didn't she have a mother? And didn't she have a mother? And didn't she have a mother? Didn't your great 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 grandmother had a mother? Correct. So how many grandmothers did it take for you to be here? Nobody knows. That's why life is revolving like that. We can't answer that question. The reason why we can't trace it that far back is because we just portal back in. They're not going to tell us that. I remember a fraternity brother told me that at a meeting. He said that's what happens. So I said, well, who is God then? They said we don't know. That's the greatest mystery of all. This world is so perfect for life to exist that it has to be a God. It has to be. It has to be a Senate. There is an intergalactic senate. Did you know some of the aliens look like us? Right. Look just like us, comprised of many races of people. Did you know when you strip everybody's skin, we all look the same? All of us. But for this life to be interesting, we all have to look different, right? And act different. Like, okay, you're a part of this group. You're a part of this group. I'm a part of this group. Our group is better than your, just make stuff interesting. Just think about it. If we all getting along, it should be boring. And I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe because that's all we know. It's never ending, mothers. That's right, because we portal back in. No, we essentially, Ryan, might be living in hell right now. That's my mother said. She got that answer when she went. They had to revive my mother. I didn't know that. I said, Mom, you serious? How come they ain't tell me? She said they ain't want to upset you. Because they did call me and a friend. They said, hey, do you want us to revive? I'm like, yeah, of course. They hung up the phone. My mother said she went into the light and saw her father. And her father said, well, let me show you who your next folks gonna be. She saw who her parents was gonna be. She saw it. And the lady was pregnant. She said, this is where your soul is going. You're going here. And they had a representative, and she said she saw God. She said it's hard to explain. She felt God. She didn't see him, she felt him. And he was talking telepathically so she can understand. But she said when she was in the present, she said it was like, what the? He was right there. And we don't know if it's a he or she, we don't know. But because that entity is telepathically talking to you. It's a feeling you get. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. Like, and a lot of people, a guy, when I was living in Richmond, I picked up this guy, right? Because I was doing Lyft. So I picked him up at the grocery store. And then from the grocery store, he said, hey, man, I didn't do a round trip. I know you're taking me home, but can you take me to the store? He was like, I need to get something out of the corner store. I said, yeah, sure. And he was a white guy. I'm just saying this just so y'all know what his background is. And he said, yo, I just got out the hospital, man. I had flatline. He said, I've been in the hospital for 3 months. I said, man, I'm glad you're still here, man. I genuinely meant that. I meant that. I said, I'm glad you're still here to enjoy this existence. He said, why did you say it like that? He said, I said, you're here to continue to enjoy this for right now. I said, you're a traveler. He said, how did you know that? Why did you say it? I said, you're traveling. We're all travelers. We're in this existence right now, enjoying this moment in time together. But when you out of here, you're going to enjoy another moment in time in some other period of time. It could be 50 years from now, 20 years from now, if there's no time there. He was like, that's what happened to me. He told me that. He said, I went to the light. He said, a representative from one of my ancestors was there to greet me. And he said, next thing you know, I knew where I was going. He said that. And he said, they put me in front of God. And I said, well, what did God look like? He said, he don't know. He said it was a feeling he got, and he was talking to him, like without words. That's what my mother said. And when my mother told me, I broke down because I said that guy wasn't lying. Yep, she told me that. But then she said, all of a sudden, like she was with her dad again. He said, not yet. You're not ready yet. And then she woke up. She's in the hospital. And I was standing over her. That's what she told me. And I told her another guy told me the same similar story. She said, yeah, it was real. She said it was real as if I'm talking to you right now. That's how she felt. It was just like that. She said as if she's in her same body. But then she was saying, yeah, she saw what family she was going to. It's almost like you get a new assignment. And we don't know why. There's a lot of questions we don't know the answer to. We don't. But I believe some people do know the answer to it, but they're not going to tell us. That's what people believe, Ryan. And it might not be the case, Ryan, because on the other side, my mother said time doesn't exist. Because she said she felt like she was there for like a whole week. But in reality, here she wasn't gone that long. She said time is not the same. So I mean, think about it. Let's say if our grandmothers died, my grandmother died in 1990. But there's no time. What happened if she just was born again now? Or maybe 20 years from now, like that. For them, it don't seem like 20 years. It's just whenever the creator is ready for you to come portal back. I don't know, Ryan. I asked my mother, I said, "You sure you weren't dreaming?" She said, "No, I wasn't dreaming." And then the guy that I gave a ride to, he said the same thing. He saw the light. Yep. It's crazy, man. I believe them. Like they don't have no reason. Like I just believe them. And he talked to me. We had a moment in time. He talked to me. He said, "Hey, man, I just had to tell you, man, I saw that light." And he said he didn't want to come back. He didn't want to come back. But they said his time went up yet. He came right back. He woke up in the hospital. And he said he understands now. He said his life changed. He understands his life. He said we're here to experience everything. And then we go on to the next one. So I don't know. Well, I don't know for sure, right? But I just know for people, like for my mother to say it. And if I ask her right now, she says it instantly. What happened? She never wavers from it. She tell me the same story. He said we don't die, we multiply. I mean, our souls are renewed in the physical form of some type. Or if you believe in multi-dimension, every possibility of us is going on right now at the same time. This universe is deep, yo. I just don't understand it. To be honest with you, I still don't understand. I don't. You know what some people are saying? When we dream, we're on the other side. We are. We're traveling. I said, well, why can't I get some answers then? Like the winning lottery numbers. You see what I'm saying? But that's material stuff, man. That's like I want to know though. Like, give me something. And I don't remember half my dreams. Like, I don't know when the last time I had a dream and I remember it. You know what I'm saying, Jen? Give me some lottery numbers or something. You feel me? I'm not complaining, but give me something to work with. That's why, Ryan, we say our born day. We say, just the day you portal back in. You got your new assignment. Some people really truly believe that. Like you said, maybe I will be reborn rich. When you were at some point, you were. Okay, you might do that next time, or you might do it now. We don't know. You ever listen to the side guru? He even says it. He said, "You don't die. It's not a big deal." And he was like, "Okay, side guru. So what happened to us?" Now he said nothing. You don't know what happened to you last time, do you? And you all you know is you alive. He said, "Only thing you remember is being alive. You don't remember being dead. So don't worry about it." He talks just like that.
He was like, just don't worry about it. Like, we having a human experience. You said the dream world is the spiritual realm. I believe so too. But it's hard for me to figure stuff out. Yeah, it's like another realm. But I just don't remember sometimes. I wish I could remember. Sometimes I have crazy dreams though. I had a dream a friend of mine was chasing me. She was throwing stuff at me and I was just running. She was running faster, but I was running faster than her though. And next thing you know, we stopped and we ran about 20 miles. That's how fast we were running. And we was like, what are we doing? Like, we got to go back now. Why do we run so fast? Yeah, we started laughing. We ran so fast, like Superman fast. And then we started laughing, like, dude, we gotta get back before it get dark. We were walking back, and then we had to start running fast again to get back. But yeah, so I don't know. But if you truly believe that, shout out to you though, that you be going through the dream world. You see people that died and memories are new with them. I also see people I don't know, and they know you. Yeah, you probably be traveling then. If you can remember all that, you a traveler. You can travel in your sleep. You say give us a good story of the best birthday you had regardless of age. Okay, cool. That's a good one. Um, well, I can give you an interesting birthday, and I'm gonna give you the best one. Let me start with the most interesting one. I got so drunk that I know I had liquor poisoning. I thought I was gonna die. I thought that was gonna be my last birthday. I was so damn drunk that I was with my ex-girlfriend. We went back to her house and I had to immediately go to the bathroom. I said to her, I was like, I'm that type when I had got real drunk, I'm still within my senses. I'm just real slow acting. I said, hey, by the way, where's your bathroom? She said, the bathroom's upstairs. She's like looking at me. Like she's kind of like drunk too, but not my drunk because that was my birthday. Everybody feeding me drinks. She wasn't my kind of drunk, but I was wasted. I said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" She said, yeah, why? I said, where's your bathroom? Knowing I know where her bathroom, I don't know. I asked her. She was like, it's upstairs. Go ahead. I went in the bathroom, closed the door. I got on my knees and I just started throwing up. You hear me? I started throwing up. And I said to myself, I said to the creator, I said, listen, I'm never going to get this drunk ever again. And she knocking on the door. You all right? I said, I'm throwing up. I threw up all the contents in my stomach. And then after I got up, she gave me a toothbrush. I brushed my teeth. Then I had to do number two. Then it came out that way, like liquid. It came out that way. I said, damn. I wiped and then I got up and had to sit back on the toilet again. I said, yo, I ain't never getting this drunk again. So then I ended up taking a shower. And then my head still spinning and hurting. And I remember laying across her bed and I said, listen, I'm gonna have to apologize to you. I said, because I can't do nothing tonight. yo, I apologize. We laugh about it to this day. She said, I had to apologize. So I said, listen, I grabbed her hand, I apologize. I said, I can't do nothing tonight. I said, you could try. I said, but I can't do nothing. I Can't do nothing. And she started laughing, then we just went to sleep. And she told me to lay on my side. And she said if she catch me heaving, she'll wake me up. But she wasn't ready to go to sleep. She just laid me on. She propped some pillows. This girl had a lot of pillows. I don't know. To this day, I don't know if anybody had. She had a body pillow. I ain't never had nothing like that. That's fancy. A body pillow. So I laid on my side. And she didn't want me to throw up. And then I said, do you have any Excedrin in the house? She did. I said, bless your heart. Let me get some Excedrin and some nice ice water. Okay. Let me get some ice water. Let me get some ice water and some Excedrin. And let me get an ice pack for my head. And I said, I'm apologizing because I can't do nothing tonight. This ain't nothing. You can't even get up. I had what you call drunk D. And nothing going up. So she started laughing. She said, damn, we shouldn't have had you drink all day. It was crazy. Yep. And I said, keep that AC on in the ceiling fan because I'm hot. I got a hot box. And I said, if she had like a little refrigerator in her room, I said, keep some ice water in there for me. Just in case I need some ice water. Because I have a hot box. Okay. I remember waking up and it had some nice cold water. That was glacier cold. It was so cold. And then I felt nice and refreshed. Then went back to sleep. But man, I said to myself, I'm never going to get that drunk ever again. That was my 40th birthday. 40th. I said, I'm never getting that drunk again. Never. And I never did. Because I had alcohol poisoning. Okay, so let me see. What's the most favorite birthday I've ever had? Let me see. Oh, it was in 1993. It was in 1993 because I was anticipating as soon as I get on my birthday, I can go get my license. And then my mother was getting ready to buy me a car. And I never forget it. As soon as she had already knew the car she was buying me, as soon as August 8th hit, I went and took the test and got my car that day. That was my best birthday ever. Yep. And after that, it's just any time I spend with my mother, it's a good birthday. Because I cherish the moments. Now that I'm older, I cherish moments more than any possession I have. And just me talking right now to you guys, sharing a moment, that means more to me than anything. But as soon as I had turned 18, she bought me a car. That was the best birthday present I ever had. Best time I ever had. Because I never forget it. My boy Howell was with me. He rest in peace to him. He was the one that I had warned. I said, you need to let these guys, you don't need to be around these guys. They're going to do something to you. And they did. I was with him. And I never forget, I went and got the car washed up, I put some Armor All on the tires, and we went to Big Boy. It's Jamaican guy. His name Big Boy. He used to put the system in your cars. I went and put a system in the car. Back then we had systems in the car. Loudspeakers. Had my woofer back there and my equalizer, and I had a Benzie box. Back in the day, I had saved up for this. We had a Benzie box on a radio pullout. We called it a Benzie box. He said, "Yo, now that you got your car," because he had his car next. He was getting his car next after me. A week after me, he got his car. He said, "Yo, you know what we got to do, right? Go to the mall." That was like the big thing for us to go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? Walk around the mall with your Benzie box. You know what I'm saying? Walk around the mall. And then after that, we went to the Village in New York City. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I got my license, I went to New York. So that's why I'm so used to driving to New York, because that's all I've been doing all my life. I don't like taking the train. If I got a car, I'm taking a car. So as soon as I got my license, we went to New York. We was up there in the Village, and we just chilled out there all day. And guess what? What's his name was out there? Nas. You know the rapper Nas? Nas was out there, and he was playing the music that was about to come out. And that's when the first time I heard Life's a Bitch, because he was playing it. His boy was playing it. Not his boy, his brother, Jungle. He was playing it. And everybody knew he was getting ready to come out and be the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying? And I think it came out late 93, 94. His first album came out, and he changed hip hop. You know, Nas is in the National Archives. I don't know if y'all know that. They put his stuff in the National Archives because he meant something. I forget what song they put in there. It was a song they put in there. He's in the National Archives. You said Warren or Bart, and what about Katie? Jealous. Now they talking about Jax. Have you heard about Jax? I ain't heard nothing about no Jax. Now everybody got Jax name in their mouth. I don't know what's going on. Ain't nothing adding up. But see, at the end of the day, we're not the professionals. Let them deal with it, because I don't know. They out there at the island looking for clues. I don't know what they're doing, but they went out to the island. Okay, with the lawyers. So it's a big mess. So yeah, that was my favorite birthday. I got my car. And yep. Boy, Howard was with me. Rest in peace to Howard. He probably somewhere. I don't know, man. If he portal back in, I know he's in the cars again. If he portal back in. But some people I heard portal back in immediately. It just depends on the assignment. That's what I heard. Some people it takes a few years. Some people going right away. Right away. Right now, currently on the planet, there's 8 billion souls on the planet right now. And guess what? There could be more, but they're waiting to portal back in. That's why when somebody dies, somebody's born. It's like a revolving thing. People just waiting to portal back in. But currently, right now, it's 8 billion souls on the planet, roughly. You said the whole Illmatic is archived. Yeah, I forget what they did. They archived something. That's for the National Archives. You know, the Egyptians kept archives too. You know how they got it from the Egyptians, you know, the hieroglyphs. Those are their National Archives. Did you know some stuff from the Egyptology days? It's still being uncovered. They're still trying to excavate it. Because what happened was they knew they were getting ready to get pillaged and taken over. So they buried the shit. They did. They buried it. They buried some of the secrets. Because they taught secrets, you know what I'm saying, in the Egyptian schools. They taught people, but they ain't teach them everything. That's the crazy part. And, you know, people went back to Greece and other places. The father of modern medicine should be Imhotep, not they should be taking the Hippocratic oath, but they taking the Hippocratic oath. It's not right. It's not Hippocrates. It's actually Imhotep was the father of medicine. Facts. But they don't change it for whatever reason. But you know, it's like they not telling us everything. That's the crazy part. Thank you for the birthday wishes, L. I appreciate you. They not telling us everything. They want us all to be divided. Okay, that's number one. They want us all divided. That's why I tell you, for this particular case, do not get upset and do not crash out. Don't do it. That's what they want you to do. They want us to continue to be divided. I just wish one day humanity would just stop falling for the BS and stop being so damn divisive. But we, human. I guess that's the way life is. Life has to be interesting like that. That's the only way I can make sense of it. It's just we have to have something to be stressed about. We got to have challenges, different things like that. We got to have a certain amount of hate, you know. So I don't know. It could have been a freak accident. That's what they got to determine. You see what I'm saying? So here's the thing: if it was a freak accident, how was it a freak accident? Now, in certain parts of the water, you hear I say water. I can't. It's my accent. It sounds funny. I just heard it. In certain parts of the water, you neck deep in the water, and in certain parts of the water, you waist deep. It's weird out there. And at 4 o'clock, you need to get out that damn water at 4 o'clock. But nobody does that. Now, anybody know if ever been a riptide, it could just pull you under just like that. You ain't got time to scream. Now, my question is, did they see that and everybody freaked out? I don't know. Because we did hear somebody say, Nolan, oh my God. And they seem like they all been drinking. So we never know. We have to wait and see what investigators say. We got to wait and see. It could take a while. I know people want answers, but shit, I'm not the investigators, and they're not telling us anything. So what can we do? It could be the crime is the cover up, but see, that's gonna suck. I see. If I was there, I wish I was there. I would have said, "Look, guys, look, we need to go ahead and call the goddamn police." And they probably gonna be like, "No, we're not calling the police. We're gonna get in trouble." I said, "If y'all don't sit up here and call the police, we're all going to jail. Somebody call the damn police and figure this out right from there." That's what should have been done if it was an accident. Somebody should have called the paramedics. Maybe he could have got airlifted and been okay. You never know. So we don't know what happened. We don't know the circumstances. But if it is a cover up, yeah, it's a crime. You can't do that. This is crazy. You said it's probably over. Look how how you spell. Yo, Miracle, you need to be. I'm gonna have to talk to you after this. You say too much stuff that you just go viral. This stuff you be saying. Look how you spelled it. I ain't never seen somebody spell it like that. Lord have mercy. It's just the way you said it. Wait, I can hear you saying it like that. Like just the way you put that in the title, man, it'll be over with. I hope that wasn't the case, Merrick, but you know that happens though. They do die over that, over a girl. Some, far fighting, excuse me. I don't know, man. I just know how teenagers are and they get to drinking and being stupid. Oh my God. They get to drinking and being stupid and start fighting and we don't know. It's a mystery. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went through every scenario, but I'm still confused. Like he didn't have his phone and I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what them boys was doing. But I know they were out there acting a fool. They had to have been. Because Trayson said he got into a fight. So, and then Warren's little brother got into a fight. What's up with all these fights? That's what I wanted to say to him. Why y'all fighting? And he had to go get his little brother, break the fight up, and get him over here to the boat so he can calm down. What the fuck, man? No, this ain't. I don't think it was involving the R word, Steven. It could have been they sitting up there drinking and acting stupid. Okay, you know how teenage boys get act stupid. especially when they start drinking. Okay. And things got out of hand. It could have been like, well, then again, I don't know. We have to wait and see. And I hope that's all they were doing. I heard they might have been tooting their nose up. Who knows? That's a bad situation. You know, it was hot out there too. That heat involved, two people want to fight when they get hot. Lord have mercy. Them boys, man, I don't know what the hell. Lord have mercy. That's something you said reverse history of America. I don't know. I mean, I can't explain life, bro. I wish I had the answers. I wish I did. I'm trying to figure out like everybody else. You know, I think life it just has its up and downs. It has challenges for us. It's like a game. You gotta face this challenge. Face this. I don't know. I have no idea. But I know one thing. Somebody gonna have to explain what happened here. I mean, because they making it seem like he slipped and it went right under that damn current. I mean, it could have happened, but I don't know. I know there's some drinking involved. They ain't gonna sit up here and lie to me and say they weren't drinking. There was some drinking involved, especially 4th of July. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna sit up there and drinking all that damn water. And did you see where they were at? Some of the people they were standing in water that's like damn near neck deep. I'm not standing on water that's neck deep and I'm sitting up there drunk. I'm not doing that. I mess around and catch a Charlie horse and I can't even get back to the damn boat because I got a Charlie horse. Now I'm yelling, somebody gotta come get me. It's crazy. You know, a cramp. We used back in the day we call it a Charlie horse. Yeah, they could have been on that booger sugar. It's too hot to be on that booger sugar. I've never been on the booger sugar, but I'm just saying they on that booger sugar, they drink it, it's hot. You get aggravated, next thing you know, start fighting. They can't go out there and just chill. They gotta go out there and just and act crazy. I remember when I was substituting in class, because they knew me, some of them knew me because I had been there before, but my little extra introduction got everybody laughing. I said, "What's so funny?" He said, "Sir, just the way you saying it." So when I went in there, I said, "Good morning, class," and I'm gonna write this on the damn blackboard so y'all gonna understand me. I said, "Y'all gonna repeat after me." I said, "Thou," I wrote it on the board, "Thou shalt not." Everybody looking at it, see what I'm gonna write. "Thou shalt not work Mr. Mack's nerves." Okay? And I highlighted it. I mean, underlined it. Can you repeat after me now? Thou shalt not. They said, "Thou shalt not." I said, "Work Mr. Mack's nerves." And y'all not gonna do that, right? They started laughing. I didn't think it was funny. I wrote it on the board big too. Y'all not gonna sit up here and work my nerves. That's not happening. That's a rule. We can't work Mr. Mack's nerves. Then somebody said, "Well, what is that? What does that comprise of?" I said, "What does that comprise of?" Shut up. And everybody started laughing. What does that comprise of? Shut up. And just do as I'm told. And don't work my nerves. It's always one somebody see what does that comprise of? Working your nerves. Don't worry about it. But I know how teenage boys act. They can act stupid. He said your only worry is the throat and other physical content it will be shipped. Well, I don't know about the stomach contents because they have to keep that because depending on the digestive system, depending on when he had his last meal, depending on when he died. So they had to do further analysis on that, I'm sure. Because if they can confirm when he had his last meal, you can confirm roughly in his digestive system where the food is. That would tell you like approximate time of death. I learned that from Dr. Baden. But we'll find out, man, sooner or later. But guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I might be back later. I'm gonna get something to eat real quick. I haven't had nothing to eat. I'm gonna go eat. But I'll catch you guys a little later. I might be back. But if not, thank you for the birthday wishes. Ryan, happy birthday to you. Miracle, thank you. Guys, I will catch you soon. Thank you for everything. All right, y'all. I will catch you guys in a minute. In a minute, guys. In a minute, I'll be back. I just haven't decided yet. Probably talk about something else. All right, y'all.